Right guys, welcome back to a slightly additional tutorial based on the previous Master Plus one with regards to power. Got asked quite an interesting question from somebody in the comments. I think it was on the long shots video where they asked about how do you know how to control the power. They're obviously new to the game. Wanted a few tips on how to understand how far the white ball is going to travel, how hard you have to hit certain shots, etc. I've asked a couple of questions back and found out that they're currently playing on amateurs because they're brand new to the game, but I sort of advise them to jump straight to Pro Plus, which is the default setting for online. We're going to play a few shots, guys, just talk about the way that the white ball travels and how far it travels and how you can gauge your power. So we broke off and I've sort of placed the white ball in a position where it gives us a shot straight away. Now, as you can see, playing it at 14.9% power here, and with the slight top that it's got already because we're quite close to the side cushion, the ball will roll forward as far as the white line goes. Obviously, if we put it there, the red's not going to reach the middle. So, as I said in previous videos, if you can get that line to stop moving and add a 1 or 2%, it should reach the pocket. If we play it at that pace, the white's going to fall short of the blue line. Now, what I mean by blue line is a straight line from middle pocket to middle pocket. You don't want to do that. If you do that, then you're probably leaving yourself in a position where the white's got to go away from the reds before it comes back to it, making your next shot a little bit more difficult. So what we want to try and do is just roll it slightly past. Don't want to do a lot with the cue ball, you just want it just to roll through and gently stop the other side of the blue. Obviously, that's all depending, guys, if you hit that middle bar flat on, like bang in the middle, which is what we just did. So if we retake that shot and we play it again, I think it was about 14.9 roughly. It's hard to get it bang on again, but we put 14.7. So because the blue bar, you can set anywhere in the blue bar and you won't miss. You technically will get it. Providing the lower part of it is strong enough to reach the object ball, to reach the pocket. So if you play it really early, see, the red will just reach, but now we're in a position where we're the wrong side of the blue. Now on this setting, it's not difficult. You can still roll that blue in comfortably and end up sort of there to play one of these two reds down the side rail. So that's fine, that'll work. But we'll retake that shot again and I'll just show you the alternative if it goes the other way. Got it at 15, but we'll play it just above. So if we go just above the line, you can see the difference in how far the white ball travels. Yeah, so you can see straight away that there's quite a massive difference, and it could affect you making a sizable break, or even putting yourself out of position in some cases when you're playing really delicate little shots. So you're playing a stun shot off the black or the pink and you're trying to go between two reds because there's one single red on. It causes a problem. So we'll just move the white around, see if we can get into a position here where we can play a reasonable shot. Now I know I'm not going for a red, but we're going to pot red. Now I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm not going to edit this video, guys. I'm going to show you my thought process just in the best way to explain it so it doesn't make it difficult for people. I want to make it as easy as possible to understand, especially if you're new to the game. I don't expect the experienced players to take note of this stuff. Obviously they've been playing the game for a couple of years now and it's common knowledge to them. So if you're playing the blue and you want to get on the single red directly above the black, for example, it's a bit of a far-fetched shot, to be honest, because it would be more straightforward to go for one of the two reds, but like that sort of thing. If you want to do that, you need to manipulate the white in a way which changes the direction and the deflection of the white ball. So that blue line you want to pay attention to. So if we put a different spin on it, we put bottom on it, and we'll push the power up. The more you push the power up at that spin position, the more it's coming back. Yeah. So now if you leave it in that position and you want that blue line to go between those two reds, just push the white spin up. It'll go above the red. You want it to go slightly past. If you wanted to be brave, you could play that shot, and then you'd have an almost straight red into the corner. The issue you have is that if you stick it to the cushion and you end up straight on the red, you're not going to be able to get onto a colour very easily unless you roll all the way across to play a long blue in the far right corner. Now that's not what you want to do. So I would put a little bit more bottom on it, and push that power up to 28. Again, push the spin back up, and now you can see that even though it's going through the gap of the reds, it's actually getting lower because of the way the ball is. Now for me, if I played it like that, it would probably glance that red, and you're also leaving yourself in a position where if you get the power wrong, which I'll try and show you, if you play this less than the power that is given on the power bar on the left, the white will come off in a more shallow position. What I mean by that is it'll go more directly between those two reds on the left as opposed to the position it's in now. Well, I'll just do it now just to show you. So if you play it at the low point, see it went straight between. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad shot. It's not a bad shot at all, but you are on the cushion and you are almost in that straight position, and you know the black doesn't go. So that's what I was talking about. Now if we play that again, take a bit of working out to get it back where it was, but I think it was around 30-ish% with bottom. Right, if we play it for the top end of the power, the white ball will take a wider angle, so it'll go more towards the corner pocket than it will those two reds. So we'll try and get it to the top end if we can. That's the top end. See there, straight away you've got that massive gap of the direction that the white can go in. That is why your power is key when you're playing any sort of shot. So remember, every power shot you set up is purely based on you hitting it in the center. We'll try and get it in the center. That's as close to as you probably could get it. And now you can see straight away that that's missed the red that the line was going to, and that you now have a nice little angle on this red. Now the good thing about this angle is, guys, is that you've got a position here where you can play a little screw shot to set yourself up a long blue for the two reds down the right hand side, or a relatively straight pink to go for the red on the left hand side. It really depends on what your preference is. Personally, if I was you and I was new to the game, I would seriously consider clearing up the loose balls first, unless you get an absolute clear attempt to split the pack. Reason for that is that you might find yourself in a position where if you take these 6 reds and 6 blacks, you're making yourself a really, really sizable lead. So just to continue on with the power, guys, we'll just go through this now, where we're going to leave ourselves a couple of options. If you look at where the blue line finishes here, it's slightly above to the right. If you was to put a straight line from this black right corner pocket to the left middle pocket, then the pink is almost pretty much spot on it, but we're slightly above it, so it's going to leave us an angle where you could go off the pink into the top red and split them slightly, or you could take a long blue. We're going to try and take a long blue, and I'll show you why now, just to show you the power. So if we play it bang on in the center, the white will finish where the blue line ends, all right, with this bottom. Now if we move the bottom on the cue ball, it moves where the white ball's going to finish. Yeah, see that? So if you're happy with the power, you'll probably find that actually, do you know what? That's not too bad. So we'll go with that again. Try and get it where it was. Right, so we'll play this at this pace and try and get it in the middle. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll show you if you miss it – short powered and then long powered. So if you play it short powered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 1 pretty much in no man's land. If your single ball potting is not on par, and if you're really struggling with long shots like this, excuse me guys, that is probably missable to somebody who's new to the game. So that's us playing it sort of really short on pace. So if we do the same again, I think it was about 28. Just make sure that's in a similar place. Right, so that's about the same. This time we're going to play it higher power, so more than the line. If you was to miss it like this, guys, it wouldn't be worth carrying on playing it this time. You'd be better off playing on the practice table. Such a wide bar. So the top end is that, and that is the problem it creates. It sends the white over to the side cushion, making doesn't make your blue more difficult. If anything, it's not even a bad shot, but it could have been that you stuck the white to the cushion, hence you'd have been snookered by the red. You've got a nice shot on the pink. That is the go-to shot if you want to drive a load of spin on the ball and basically rip through the reds. The only fear with that is that you're running the risk of having an in off with a red or even the white. But that's the best pot luck any time you make a split. So let's go back to this one. We'll try and get it in the center again so we can get that white where we want it. A little bit shy on power, but close enough for the center. Yeah. Now that's made the pink a hell of a lot easier. So two options. We can roll through for the single red on the left, or we can play a reasonably long blue and get on these two reds on the right. Now, if I was to be playing online in a tournament, I would probably take the two single ones following the blue. If I was just messing about, I'd try and be cheeky and sort of glance off the pink just to nudge out one more red and end up on that side cushion. But we're not going to do that. For the purpose of understanding power, this is what we're going to do. Now, the guy who asked a comment, or sorry, I asked a question in the comments, sort of suggested, is it a case of just practicing and then you understand the power? Do you know what? Ultimately, that is the actual point of power. You understand how far the white's going to go. You understand how far it's going to bounce off a cushion. So yes, experience and practice is probably key to understanding it more. But if these tips can help, then great. So we've got a long blue. If we're playing it at 62% with the cue ball position just below center, that blue line is exactly where that's going to end. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about playing a long shot, guys, is that spin's only applicable over a shorter distance. For example, if I was to drop my power to 39, look where the white ball's going to end up. Even though you've got bottom on the ball, it's not going to come back in any way or stun in any way. It's because you're not playing enough power over the distance the white's got to travel before it's the object ball. So I think we was up to about 62. And that's what we're going to do. So I'll play it at short distance, short power. Just inside the box then. If we'd have been ounce lower, we'd have missed. So the white ball's travelled further than I wanted it to. Again, not a problem because the red's on. So not a disaster. Now what we'll do is we'll play it the other way. Which again, I don't think it will be a massive problem based on the space that we're in. So this is where we want it to be. Yeah, so it's almost a straight yellow into the yellow pocket. So we're playing at the top end, just to show you the difference, the way the white ball travels. No, we missed because we missed the power. That power, if you've seen the power then, it went actually outside the line. That is why the blue missed. you might think it's probably a bit sort of pointless trying this, but I just want to show you the difference in the way the whiteboard travels. That's what I'm trying to do. So we'll try and get to the top end. Right, there you go. So the top end, the blue's gone in, but the white's come down at a more shorter plane. It hasn't gone up the table as much. So you're a lot closer to the reds. You're a lot easier to get into the next ball. It's easier to pot because you're not up near the bolt line, and it's it's closest for you. So that all helps. So we'll just play that at the pace that I wanted to, which is again 62. Bang in the middle, and it's pretty much finished on a sixpence for the blue line, and that's what you want. That's that blue line is key for a lot of things that you do. Yeah. The only thing I want to show you now is I want to show you a little bit of a longer shot, and the reason being is that I want to show you the difference when you've got quite a lot of top on the ball and how far the white will travel. So let's, for argument's sake, say you're playing this red. You've got the Q flat, so it's got maximum top on it. Now, if you take the top off as much as possible, see the blue line arc changes. It means at 50%, it will arc that much because you're hitting it relatively quite firm. What that means is that the white will travel at more pace to come off the top cushion and come back down the table. If you was to reduce the power, the blue line changes. But I'm gauging that because the green line after the red is stopping at about 15 or 16%. Technically that red should reach, but for safety reasons I would sort of give it an extra 2 or 3% just to make sure that goes. Now based on that white should finish where that chalk mark is roughly, leaving us either a straight pink or a long blue. I just want to try this, guys, just to give you an idea with top on it how much is different. Now, if we play this short, the red may not reach the pocket, and the white ball's nowhere near reach the chalk mark. So again, that is key. Yeah. So we'll try that again. Get it about 19. Right, so we'll play it with too much power, and hopefully the white should roll past the chalk mark. Yeah, loads past it. And again, now you're in a position where you have to pull out a tough blue. Not so tough on Pro Plus, but again, missable. Absolutely missable. So we'll try and play that again at normal pace. Same top. Right, so that's on the line. So that white should finish where that chalk mark is roughly. Yeah, it's not a million miles away. That's pretty much on the blue line. And then again, that leaves you the option of the pink or the blue. So yeah, that's one good one to look at. Just want to try. I just want to try and nudge something over this pocket, and I'll show you in a minute why. So I want to get it into the corner really. There you go. It's a shame you can't position the balls where you want to before you play your shots. I want to try and show you a long screw shot. Now these are not played that often, but sometimes you'll find yourself in a position where you're going to make a sizable break and you need to get length of the table to get on the next colour or whatever that'll be. Reason why I want to show you this as well is that when you travel the length of the table, the blue line is very, very different. Right, so we need to move the white slightly. We need it a bit more straighter because I want the blue line to come up back down the table, missing all the balls. I don't want them to cannon into them. I want to show you the difference in the way the white travels. So let's just, for argument's sake, say you'll get in. You want to pot the green after this. It's unrealistic, but let's just humour me for a second. So we need to push that a little bit more. There we go. Right, so you want the green. So let's go that side, see if that works. There you go. So you want to pot the green next, for whatever reason. Now, I don't know if you can see, but just by the red ball, you've got where the sort of bend on the blue line starts pretty much straight away. That is purely because of the amount of power that you're playing on the white ball. We're currently at 78%, and that is only going to draw it back to just past the pink as it looks. Now, in my experience, when the blue line's got an arc to it, it actually goes slightly further than that. I'll just try it for an example. We've got it sort of just left of the pink and blue there. Now we need to be accurate with the power here. So if we get it spot on there, you'll probably find that white ball is going to travel a little bit further. Not much, but you can clearly see that it's gone past it. Now, the reason why it does that is you need to take into account the slight arc on the blue line. Not by much, though. So let's get back to 78%, roughly. See, on that blue line, you'd swear blind it was almost between the blue and the pink, which isn't right. Now, if we say we're going for the green and we're going for an almost straight green, which is about there. Now, at the same power, on the same line, I got a funny feeling that it'll run past the parallel line, so you'll end up with not a straight shot on the green. I'll try it again just to show you. Slightly above on the power then. But it would have finished above. Don't get me wrong, the green is potable. You know, if you need the green for whatever reason, if it's to finish the break off one in front, and then you're on it. But generally, that is what I was talking about power. And again, you know, let's just say that the black's free. Say that red's not in the way. And you want to stop the white exactly where the red is. If you want to stop the white exactly where the red is, your blue line's got to be almost there. Now, what you need to be aware of this is that if you don't get your power spot on, the white will either run against the top cushion, or equally, if you hit it too hard, it will come back further. What I mean by that is if I play it at low pace, do you see what I mean? It's not obvious. That is because purely the distance that the white ball's travelling. Because the distance the white ball's travelling, it's losing its backspin before it gets there because you haven't hit it hard enough. That's why it's rolled forward. Now, for us to stop the white there, we need to be really accurate with the power. I won't bother with too much power on this one, because if I do, it's just going to end up higher than the black, and that's not what we're trying to show. So if we try and get it spot on, that's too hard. We've lost position on the black, but we've got the pink. One more try. You know, hopefully this gives you a fair idea, guys, of what we're trying to explain here. Again, we want that to stop bang on there. So there. Yeah, it's almost like a stun shot over the length of the table. That's what it is. I just want to nudge this black past and just show you a couple of shots off the cushion. because shots off the cushion is just as difficult because you don't see the blue line. You don't know where the white's going to go, and that is purely experience. So what I tend to do is, what I want this to do here is I want it to bounce off the top cushion, possibly off the side cushion, and just above the chalk mark, the big chalk mark on the left. So then we've got an almost straight black. Right, so I'm going to put top on the ball. Now, when I take the power off this, the blue line's going to change its plane. It's going to go more directly forward, which you can see it moving. What I do is I take all the power off so the blue line's not visible. Now, obviously, the key is to pot the ball. So get the green thing so it's in the pocket. Right, I know that's going to go in, but I also know that the blue line don't quite touch the top cushion, so I know that I'm going to snooker myself for the black. So I know I have to play it more than 8%. Now, what I tend to do now is I'll add sort of 2 to 3% per ball width for it to bounce out. So for me, if I add that to 10, that's almost just bounced off the cushion very slightly. Another 2%. Another 2% would probably bring it up almost level with that red that's just below the black spot. But we want to go up by that chalk mark. So I'm anticipating 1, 2, 3, 4, another 6 or 7%. So I would be tempted to play this at about 18%, because then that would give us a shot on the black, but off 2 cushions. So yeah, there you go. So you've got a shot now. Just quickly retake that. So again, when you're playing it off the cushion, remove all the power, put your top on it, remove all the power so that it stops. Now the green line's in the pocket. That ball pots at that pace, but it leaves the white almost against the cushion. So we knew that 18% roughly got us on the side cushion, a little bit of bounce off, so it gets control on the cue ball with your next shot. But let's just move this forward a little bit. Let's make it 20. Play it at the right power. Yeah, you're in perfect position then to take on the black. Now, we'll play the black because it means that we play it off the cushion again. So the issue with this one is that, again, you've already got top on the ball because you're quite close to the side cushion. We know that if you play it at 10%, it's not going to reach. If you play it at 13%, it's going to reach. Now, you could quite comfortably play that and not bounce off the side cushion if you wanted to. Not a problem at all. And you'd have that red into the other corner pocket. But for the sake of this episode, guys, and just to show you the difference, pot it so that the blue line is touching the cushion. You know it is that pace now, that white's almost touching the side cushion. Let's reset me. Right, so at that pace, it's almost touching the side cushion. Now I want it to bounce off the cushion a little bit because I want more of an angle on that red on the next shot. So I'm going to play that at about 19%. Now that should get me on and off the cushion with top. Now the reason why I didn't want to leave myself too much of a straight shot on the red is not because I couldn't get on the colour next, because you can. I just wanted to show you another cushion shot, just to wrap this episode up really. So with top at 50%, the white will take a wider arc off the red and go everywhere, and you won't have a clue where it's going. So again, reduce the power. Just get that green line so it stops, so that should reach at 11.5. Your white ball's not quite touching the top cushion. Now it is at 14. You want this to come off the top cushion and side cushion, be almost up past that chalk mark again. So because it's a further distance than before, I would be tempted to play this at about 23. So we're going to play it at 23. And it's not enough power. Yeah, it's definitely not enough power. Now we've got to get out of jail because we've got the pink. But that's not what we want to do. And this is where practice on your power is key. So we was at 23 last time. That's not enough. And it was, if anything, it was on the side cushion. And it's going to come off at an angle where you're going to come close to the black. So you're going to make your shot shorter. So you don't want to be too close to it. If we had another 4 or 5% on there, let's try it. Now for me, playing the game, that is actually perfect because I love to be parallel with the top cushion on the black, and the reason for that is the reds are going to go everywhere. Yeah. So guys, I really hope that helped, and it's a bit longer than I wanted it to be really, but trying to explain all the different power variants in this game is ridiculous, and it is only about experience and sort of practice. Drop a comment, guys. Drop a like and a sub if you're not already sub to the channel, and ask the questions. You know, if there's something else you want me to cover, I will happily cover it for you. If I haven't covered it in all of the other tutorials, I'll put a link in the description for my previous Pro Plus tutorial, which was done sort of over a year ago, and my more recent Master Plus one in the description for you to have a look at if you want to. But yeah, let me know how you get on. Drop me some comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.